Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. Today's video is going to be my 2022 favorites video. I'm going to share with you 22 of my favorite makeup products. These are the products from this year that I have just been loving all year round pretty much. Some of them are newer, but of course ever since I've gotten them, I have loved them. Feel very excited about this group of products. I don't think I really mentioned any of these last year in my favorites video. I am gonna have a couple of honorable mentions because I could not narrow it down to 22, including those. So I'm gonna kind of throw them in at the end of this video, but most of these products are going to be ones I did not mention in last year's favorites video. However, I do still stand behind all the products I spoke about in that video. So if you want to see what my favorites were last year, I'll definitely link that video for you. I still, of course, love those products. But let's go ahead and jump into it because I'm so excited to share all these products. Also, please don't mind my voice too much. I know I sound pretty stopped up, but hopefully we can look past that to talk about some really awesome makeup. So I kind of want to go in like order of the way I would apply my makeup, and I typically like to start with my eye makeup. So let's just kind of start with the most fun category, I feel like, which is eyeshadow palettes. I have 4 eyeshadow palettes to share with you guys, and I kind of think you guys are going to be surprised about the ones I've chosen to share. I really wanted to pick the palettes that when I look at them, I just feel so excited about them. It's kind of funny though, I feel like based on my usage of palettes, these might not be my top 4 as most used, but I just have really enjoyed them this year and I've been really impressed by all of them. So the first one I want to share is this one from BH Cosmetics and Iggy Azalea. This is the Totally Plastic palette and it's the pink version. I know they came out with several, but I have loved this palette so much. It's tiny, it's a 9-pan palette, but I feel like it just offers so much. The one thing I'll say, I've said it before and I'll just go ahead and say it again, it's really light. So if you have a deeper skin tone or if you just like more depth in your shadows, you probably wouldn't like this palette. But for me, for every day, I'm so fair-skinned that this kind of a palette is honestly just perfect for me. And I love that it has tons of neutrals, tons of just easy shades to wear. I love this pink shade up here and also this gold. But this yellow just kind of brings in a little bit of fun, as well as this hot pink. There's just a little bit more versatility than your standard 9-pan palette. These 3 are a little bit repetitive down here, but I don't mind it overall. I still really enjoy this palette, and I'm just honestly so glad that I picked it up. I picked this one up from TJ Maxx for like $5, and I'm so excited that I did. So this has definitely been a favorite of mine, and I'm really excited to just continue using it more. Next up is a palette that I won in a giveaway from the brand on Instagram, and I have just been so impressed. This is from the brand Myra. I think this has kind of gotten a lot of hype this year. Before this year, I don't think I'd ever even heard of this brand before, but this is the Chasing Eternity palette, and like I said, I did win this in a giveaway, so you know, I didn't purchase it, so, you know, it's not like I got it in PR. I don't want it to seem like I'm just saying I like it just because I didn't pay for it. That's not the case. This palette retails for something like $17, and the fact that this is so affordable is honestly just mind-blowing to me. It's incredible. So this is what it looks like. It is a neutral palette, but it kind of can lean either way, warm or cool, depending on the shades that you put on the lid. I kind of thought it was going to be more warm tone than it is, but it's honestly like just a true neutral palette, but it can kind of lean a little bit cool or warm depending on the shades you use. My favorite shade hands down is this one right here called Eternity. I actually wore this palette on my eyes today. I have a different palette on right now, but this is the one I wore today to work, and I just love it. I think it's so beautiful. The quality of this has impressed me so much, and you can see I've worn down a lot of the imprints. I have just used it so much, and this one is just a standout product to me. I really want to try more from this brand, especially their eyeshadow palettes. The only thing I don't like is that it's pretty bulky, but honestly it doesn't take up like that much space, so I don't mind it too much. It is just something to note, especially if you like to keep some slimmer palettes in your collection. To compare it to my next favorite, this is more of like a standard size palette, so it's probably about double the thickness, but that is kind of all I wanted to say about the Myra one. The next one is another BH palette. I actually didn't even realize that. So 2 of my favorite palettes are from BH Cosmetics. This is the Hangin' in Hawaii palette. It's been out for forever, I think. It's been out for a while. But I picked this up also at TJ Maxx. I think this was like $7, and I am so impressed by this. I can't even tell you guys. These shimmers are so amazing. It is honestly just crazy. Like, I can't get over it. And the craziest thing about this palette is that it does not crease on me. Like, it doesn't matter if I don't use anything on the eyelids, if I use an eyeshadow primer, if I use a concealer, if I just put my foundation on and then put some eyeshadow on and without anything on the eyelid, this will not crease the whole day. It will look so perfect the entire day. And the fact that this was $7 just blows my mind. I love this palette. It's a perfect neutral palette. I've been so into neutrals this year. I feel like last year was like the year of colorful shades for me, and then this year I've been so much more into more neutral shades again. So this one has just been a top pick of mine. It's got perfect neutral wearable browns. It's also got a couple hints of pink, a little bit more warmer tones, but just all around such a stunning palette. And I love, like I said, the shimmer shades in this. It's just incredible. I love this palette so much. I can't believe it took me so long to try, but it almost like made it better that it did take me so long to try it, because it just really blew my expectations out of the water. And I'm surprised to say that, because I don't know, sometimes I just feel like drugstore palettes don't really like hit the mark for me, but this one really did. And the 3 out of the 4 palettes I'm sharing with you all are really affordable. The Myra one is the most expensive at $17. This one was $7, and the other BH one was like $5. So I mean, that's a heck of a deal for some really great eyeshadow, if you ask me. But the next one is a high-end palette. Another one I've been really loving this year. I did receive this one in PR, so I just want to put that out there. But this is the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. I will be the first to say that I would not have purchased this if I had not received it in PR. Like, I just don't think I would have. But if I lost this palette, I would repurchase it. Now that I have had it and have tried it and have worn it, I love this palette so much. It's honestly just surprised me a lot. I find myself wanting to reach into this palette a lot, and actually just a couple of days ago, I've fallen even more in love with it because I kind of hated on this palette a little bit. I'll go ahead and leave the review video of this link down below when I first tried it, but I wasn't really excited about this shade here called Vision. It is a duochrome from purple to green, and I just didn't really find that flattering, but for some reason I've had a change of heart. And when I first tried it, I put it in the very front half of the lid, and I felt like it just made my eye look so weird and kind of closed off. But I applied it to the outer half of the eyelid the other day, and I loved the way it looked. So I'm kind of completely converted to that. I also use the purple shades when I use that, and I loved how it turned out in general. But aside from those purple and kind of like the purpley green multi-chrome or duochrome, I have loved every other shade. I love this shade here called Invention. I love the matte shades in here. Spontaneous is also beautiful. I mean, just amazing shadows. But I will say, if I don't use a good eyeshadow primer with this one, my shadow will crease. So the fact that this is a $69 eyeshadow palette and it creases versus that $7 BH Cosmetics one, that is something to really keep in mind. But I don't mind putting an eyeshadow primer on the lids. I usually do anyways. It's just something to note that this really does crease on my lids if I don't prep the lids right, but I really have loved this palette. I also really like the shade Serenity, this one Babies, Thrill. I mean, honestly, I just love all of them. I love all the mattes too. I don't really use the Blackest Black shade a lot, but that's just a personal preference. It's a great black matte shade, but I just don't really dip into that very often, but I've really enjoyed this palette as well. Okay, those are all the eyeshadow palettes, but I do have a single shadow to share with you. When I looked at all the single shadows I tried this year, this one is just a standout. This is the Ulta Beauty Bouncy eyeshadow in the shade Buttercream. I honestly just really love this shade. It doesn't have much of a pigmented base to it, but it's just more of like a topper shade, and it's really pretty to add over something or to wear on its own just for kind of like a wet looking eyeshadow look, and you can't beat the price of it. It's under $10 and it's just really pretty. Also, of course, Ulta Beauty is always on sale for like buy two get one free and that kind of thing. I actually have 3 Ulta Beauty products to share with you guys, so throughout the video you'll see me talk about 2 other ones. I feel like a lot of you can guess the 2 I'm going to talk about. I've mentioned the 3 of them together before, but that's a great way to take advantage of the sale. I've got one more product to talk about related to eyes. This is the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. I believe I first tried this last year, but this is honestly just my favorite mascara ever. I love this one. I feel like the wand is really unique. It mostly has the bristles you're seeing on top, but then it has that one line of bristles on the bottom that's just very straight and spiky. And if you kind of switch between the two sides of the bristles, it just helps to build length and volume. And I just love it. I do have it on right now, but I kind of piled it on top of what I already had on today. So it doesn't really look like it always does, but I'm mostly wearing this in all of my videos. So, you know, I really love this one. I love the way it makes my lashes look. They're very intense. This is a pretty bold mascara. You can really build it up, but I love this one. Even though it's high-end, I can see myself repurchasing this over and over again. Okay, moving from eyes to eyebrows, I want to talk about the next 3 products all together. These are like my perfect products for a brow trio. I don't use them all together, but like the trio itself, these are my favorite brow products. My first standout one, this one's the number 1 out of all of them, is the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. I love this one. So this one is just about empty. This is the mini for $9, and this has lasted me so long. It has lasted me so many months and a constant, like, everyday use. And I just love this so much. I can make the brows a little bit stiff, but it honestly just holds them in place so nicely that I can really look past that. So I don't really mind that too much. What I love is that this just holds the brows in place. It is just such a nice brow gel. Before this one, I was like, what is the hype about these clear brow gels? I feel like they do nothing. But this is one that I'm so glad I invested in. It's a high-end product, but like I said, the mini for $9 has just held up like crazy. I actually did repurchase it, and I purchased the full size on sale. So I'm super excited to crack into that. I think at the beginning of the year, I'm going to start the new one. So I'm honestly really looking forward to that. But this is such a great brow gel. I cannot recommend it enough. Another brow gel type product that's honestly surprised me this year is the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I owned this before, I think I just had the wrong shade. I don't know what shade I had, but the one I have now is brunette, and this is my second one to use. I finished up the one that I had previously, but this is a tinted brow gel that has little fibers in it. I'm sure you've heard of it. Everyone talks about it on YouTube. This is what I have in my brows today, other than like this part now that I'm covering up. Everything from here back is just the e.l.f. Wow Brow, and it just fills in the brows, puts them in place, but it also kind of holds them. I would say it's more of a light hold. So if I'm wanting like a full day of kind of not higher end makeup, but like higher coverage makeup where I really want my makeup to just stay in place, I would put this in and then top it with that Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, because I don't find the hold of this to be perfect for every day. But for an everyday product that you're just wearing for a little while, or that you don't mind if your brows kind of naturally sort of go back to their normal state, by the end of the day, I just honestly really like this one. I just sometimes feel like the hairs on the outside of my brows kind of start to, you know, taper down a little bit throughout the day, just at the end of the day though. So it does have pretty good wear. It's just not quite as strong as the Anastasia one. But this is such a good product for a quick brow day, but I can only really use it for the back half because my brows kind of start right here. So I like to fill in that first part. I feel like they make them look more full. So I typically lately have been filling in the brows with this and then going in with this NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen in ash brown. This has been honestly another surprising product to me because I used to love the Milani Weekend Brow. I have not used that in months. And I mentioned that in my last year's favorite. This one has totally trumped that for me. And it's because of the shade. It just matches my brows perfectly. Like, I feel like it is the perfect color for my brows. And I really love this. I saw Soph using this, and that's why I picked this one up, because the color looked so nice in her brows. And I'm so glad that I took her suggestion on this. But I will just use this to draw in just a couple of hairs right here in the front. And that is it. So that has been like my perfect brow combination. If I want to take more time, I'll kind of fill them in just with this and then use the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, but that's just kind of like the 3 I've been using. Okay, I'm talking too much about every product. We need to go a little bit faster. Okay, so for complexion products, let's just skip to foundation. This is the Purito BB Cream. This is the second one that I've owned this year. I purchased one of these, I think it was in March. I think it was my March makeup purchase. And I used it up already. I've already picked up another one. And honestly, I've used up a good bit of this one. There is a lot of air in it, so I'm not exactly sure actually how low it is. But I think this one is like 2/3 full right now. So it's definitely not completely full, but I'm not that close to using it up either. I think I've used up about 1/3 of the second bottle, but that says a lot, honestly, because I do have a lot of makeup in my collection. So this one has just been such a favorite. I love that this one has a cool undertone. It's almost like a grayish sort of foundation. I have mine in the shade number 21, which is very important. Number 13 I thought would have been lighter, but it's honestly so orange on my skin. This one is perfect. Like I said, it's number 21, but it's more cool tone. It's just so good. If you've ever used the Misha BB cream, this is very similar. I honestly do miss the Misha BB cream, but they're not cruelty free, whereas Purito is. So that's why I opted to purchase this one instead. It's so inexpensive. It's like $8 to $10, and I love it. I cannot say enough good things about this. If I'm in a hurry, this is the foundation that I'm reaching for, or the BB cream that I'm reaching for. It is perfection. I love it so much, and I cannot get over how good it is. I don't think I'll ever be without this in my collection. That's how much I love it. So definitely a repurchase over and over and over again. Cannot recommend this one enough. Except I wish it had more shades, I will say that. I do have a second foundation favorite. This one is the Kokie HG Skin Perfect. I have had this on its side a little bit, but I've only had this since this year, I think in the summertime, and I've already used up about half of it. So if that tells you how much I love this one, I mean, I've been flying through it. So I absolutely love this one. I do have a little bit of it on right now. I mixed it in with my Pure 4-in-1 foundation, which is obviously more full coverage, but this one is like skin perfect. It makes your skin look just kind of perfected and glowy, a little bit glowy. It's not overly glowy. It's like a natural sort of a finish. I have this one in the shade 10C, which I find really flattering on my skin, and I just have honestly loved this one so much. It has more of a creamy consistency, I would say. It comes in a pump also, which I really like. It's a nice glass bottle, but it's more of a creamy consistency. And then I feel like it just honestly is kind of like a thin cream. You can tell the texture of that, but it just blends in to look so natural on the skin, and it doesn't feel heavy, but it honestly has pretty nice coverage. So I find that it covers up enough of the redness that I have on my skin to make me feel confident wearing it, but it's not cakey at all. I love it so much. Speaking of Pure Cosmetics though, their concealer has been such a favorite for me this year. I did a concealer ranking video, and this one did rank in the first spot. This is the Pure 4-in-1 Sculpting Concealer. I'm not gonna lie, I purchased this because I was intrigued by the packaging where you have like the push top and then it opens, but they have reformulated it. So I have like a normal boring twist up top, which is kind of a bummer, but honestly, it doesn't really matter, you know? I don't think about it that often anymore. When I first got it, I was a little bummed about it, but I really like the paddle shaped doe foot on this, and the formula, of course, is what matters the most. It is pretty full coverage, but it's pretty lightweight at the same time. It's a really good color for me. I have this one in the shade LN2, and I just honestly really like this one. Again, super creamy, very pigmented, not heavy, not cakey, not drying. That's important for me under the eyes too. And also I put it all the time. Like I always put it right here on the cheeks to cover up some redness, and it also works for that. So really, really love this one. Such a good concealer. I really want to try more from Pure Cosmetics. I have not tried a lot from them. I have quite the amount of cheek products, so let's go ahead and keep going. This has got to be like my standout cheek product of the year. This is the Oma Sculpt Duo. This is the Double Take Duo Stick. I have mine in White Pearl, which is the lightest duo, but they have a lot of options. Specifically, this contour is my favorite contour I've ever tried. I love it so much. I'm honestly surprised how much I like it because it's in a stick format, but I love the tone of it. It is a cool undertone, of course, for a contour, but the fact that it blends out so easily is where it really shines. I do like the highlight side okay. It's not a standout for me in particular. It's pretty though, but I really just prefer the contour on this. If I'm being honest, I just find it so easy to work with, and it's just been such a favorite of mine. Like this is one of the products when I look at my whole collection and I'm trying to narrow it down to the 22 products in this video, this was like top 3 of all my products for sure, no doubt about it. I love this one so much. Such a good product. I will say it here because maybe you haven't seen my other videos about this. This does retail for $40. Do not purchase it for $40. It goes on sale all the time for $15 to $19. Purchase it for that. If it's on sale, get it. But I'm not saying it's not worth the $40, but they just put it on sale so often for no reason that I just can't tell you to pay $40 when you can pay $15 or $19. I think I purchased mine for $15 and it was just on sale. So if you're looking into this, keep an eye on it. Check on the website like every couple of days, and I promise you it will be on sale like within a month. It's always on sale. Purchase this for no less or no more than $20. So good, but just don't waste your money. My other cream cheek product is the Undone Beauty 3-in-1 cheek product. This has those like 3 sections on them. I have clearly not stuck to that. I have just kind of swirled all the products around, but it's supposed to have like a light coverage, a medium coverage, and high coverage option that you can kind of customize to how you want. You supposedly can use this on the lips too, but I just prefer to use it on the cheeks. I have mine in the shade Flare, but this is called this is called the Lip to Cheek palette. I really, really love this one. I love the tone of it specifically. That is what stands out to me about this product. I just find this to be a really unique tone to my collection. I do have a little bit of it on, but I kind of layered my cheek products today. But this is just stunning to me. I love it. I find this shade to be so flattering, and I feel like this shade would be flattering on anyone. I can't think of someone that this shade would not be just stunning on. The undertone of it is just so unique to me. It almost has like a hint of neon to it, but in such a like subtle and flattering way. I just honestly love it so much. The 3 of these products honestly look really pretty together too. I find the wear time on this to be really nice as well. The only thing I don't like is that if I dip into it with the wrong brush, little hairs will kind of stick in the product from a brush that will shed a little bit, just because it is a little bit more of a sticky product. But it does dry down, so it's not going to always be sticky. It will dry down on your skin, and I don't find it to be tacky after it sets, but you know, it is a cream product, so just keep that in mind. But I don't mind it, and I typically will just kind of think about the brush I'm using this with, to where I don't use one that has little hairs that come out, or you can always use like the butt end of your beauty blender or something. So that's always an option, or you can just apply it with your fingers. So there's options to get around that, but it is something I wanted to mention. Oh, I said the last cream product. No, it's not. This one is kind of a multitask product. This one can be like a primer, a mix-in, a highlight. I use it for a highlight, or sometimes like a illuminator, I guess, kind of like a highlight underneath makeup. This is the Burt's Bees, the Luminizer. It's in the shade Starlight, and let me tell you guys, this is the prettiest product ever. Oh no! Actually, as I'm filming this, I was gonna swatch it for you, and it's starting to leak out of the side, so that stinks. I was kind of worried that was gonna happen because I felt like I put the cap on too tightly. Do any of you guys know a solution for that? Because that happens on my NYX glitter glue too. Like, it will start to leak out of the side on these kind of squeezy tube products. I guess you just can't put the cap on too tightly, but if it's happened, do you know a way to fix it? Let me know. I would love to know. But I do really love this product. I think it's so pretty. This one is the more pinky tone one, and it is just beautiful. It's such a nice glow. You can use this, like I said, as so many different products, but honestly, it doesn't matter how you use it. It is beautiful. You can put this on over powders. I could put it on right now over a totally powdered face if I wanted to. It would blend in like a dream. I just really love this. It's only like $8 or $9. So pretty, but apparently be careful with the cap. Last up for the creams, for real this time, this is a duo. This is a cream and powder duo from Patrick Ta. This is the blush duo in She's So LA. These have gotten so much hype lately, but I really love this one. This was gifted to me by my best friend, so it's just a little bit sentimental for that reason, but just in general, I love this product. So the tones of these are actually kind of different, which I really like, because the duos, I think, are just kind of constructed to be a layering duo, to where you get the lasting power, you get the creaminess, but you can set it with the powder. You can use the powder first, then the cream or whatever, but I find these tones to be slightly different, and so I feel like I'm almost getting really like actually getting 2 different products in one, and meaning like 2 different colors, not just the formulas. So here's the cream. And then here is the powder. So the powder just looks like slightly more like a contour, I guess. And then the cream looks a little bit more like a cream, sort of a blush. So I really like that. I find that the two of these together are really pretty, but I also like to use them separately. I think this is just a really pretty product and I really like it. Obviously, it's one of my favorites, so this is obviously a favorite. A couple more cheek products to talk about. This one I did actually mention in last year's video, but in last year's video, this one was an honorable mention, and it is a full-on favorites in this video. So this is a face palette from Ulta Beauty. I told you guys I'd have more Ulta Beauty products coming, but this is the 3-in-1 cheek palette. I have mine in a California Sunlight. I love this so much. I feel like I have talked this to death. I've used it a ton and I'm just now starting to get some dips in it, but look how stunning those swatches are, and they look that pretty on the cheeks. These are the most effortless cheek products ever on the face. It's just amazing. It's like a baked formula. So I find that because of that, when you use all three together, they truly just blend together. Like you can't tell where the bronzer ends and the blush begins, or vice versa with the highlight. But from a distance, you can honestly, obviously tell there's different colors, but you cannot tell where one starts and the other one ends. But these are just the prettiest shades ever. I love them. The blush is a little bit more on the neutral side, so it's harder to swatch, but it's really pretty on the skin. So I just really love these. I'm running out of room to swatch things on, but they're more subtle, but they can really be built up. You can get a very sun-kissed look with these. Take my word for it. You really can, especially if you're fair-skinned like me. They do have some other color options. They do have one deeper than this, and they have one that's pretty similar to this one also. So I would definitely check it out if you're interested in this. I love this one. Such a good product. The last cheek product is a highlight from Catrice. This one is the More Than Glow highlighter, and I have mine in the shade Supreme Rose Beam. This is a pink toned highlighter. So beautiful, so reflective. Honestly, it can be built up to be pretty blinding, kind of like this swatch here. Just stunning. I love this one. Again, this is one that you're probably going to want to order on Amazon from the brand, but you can also order it from their website. So if you're wanting to order more Catrice products, then you can do that. But I love this one so much. So affordable, so great. Really performs like a high-end highlight if you ask me. I think it's just, it can't be beat. I mean, it's amazing. Really suggest this one. The packaging, of course, it's from a drugstore brand. Obviously, I feel like they're never good. I feel like I'm always talking about that, but I can really look past it because it's such a good highlight. Okay, we've only got 4 more products left. We have 1 more face product and then a couple lip products. So the last face product is this RCMA, the original No Color powder. This is a loose setting powder. I have used this so much, and look how much is still left. Like, I have barely put a dent in this powder. It's so amazing though. I'm wearing it today. I've mentioned it in a favorites video earlier this year. This powder is perfect. You can wear it every day or you can wear it for photos. It is not going to have a flashback and flash photography. It sets the makeup. It makes it last all day long, all night long. Just however long you want this to last, this is what you need to put on your makeup to make it last. It's so good. You cannot beat this price. I think this is like less than $20 and it is insane how long this lasts. I love it so much. It's translucent. It doesn't leave a white cast. I am very fair skin though, so I want to put that out there. I don't know if this would leave a white cast on deeper skin, but I do think they have tinted options. Such a good one. This is a mattifying powder, so if you're wanting a glow still, this is not really going to give you that, but this is a really pretty mattifying powder without looking cakey or dry. I do have dry skin and I can still use this even on my dry skin, so I love this one so much. I think this is so underrated. I never hear people talk about this anymore. It used to be super hyped up years and years ago, but I honestly think it still stands the test of time. It's still so incredible. Love it. Okay, we're down to the lip products and I've got 3 to share with you guys. The first one is the one on my lips right now. This is the Fenty Beauty lipstick that is refillable. I have mine in the shade 04 Mother Lover, and oh my gosh, I know I did not shut up about this product. This one was also sent to me in PR, just again to put that out there. I did not purchase this with my own money. This one's kind of hard for me to put in my favorites video just because it is overpriced. I have to just say that. This is kind of ridiculous. The outer packaging of this is nice because you can refill it, but this is like $13 and this is $22 or something. So altogether, this is a pretty expensive lipstick, but I gotta be honest, you guys, this is a favorite of mine. This is a favorite. This is another one where, like the Natasha Denona, my dream palette, I would have never purchased this if I had not been sent it in PR, but now that I've had it, if I lost it or if I run out of it, which is very likely, I will repurchase it. This is such a stunning lipstick. I've used up a ton of it. This is all I have left. And you can see in here like how much I've used of it. And a little bit goes such a long way. Like, you don't have to pile it on. I love this lipstick so much. It's a perfect like neutral lipstick, a nude that has like a little hint of warmth to it. So it works really well for warm looks. It's so amazing. I honestly really love this one. And between this one and the next one, I feel like I had my nudes covered. I would just like reach for one or the other. So that was my warm tone nude option. And then this one was my more like cool tone pinky nude. So while that one's very overpriced, this one is very affordable. This is my third Ulta Beauty product to tell you guys about. Again, I've mentioned the 3 of these before, but if you're wanting to purchase from the Ulta sale, the 3 products that I've mentioned in this video are the ones I would suggest. This is the lipstick in the shade 332 Social Status. I know you guys have heard me talk about this one too. This is a pinky toned nude. It's the one right here, and you can see between those two, like, what other nude lipsticks do I even need? So creamy, wears so nicely. Love the packaging of this one, honestly. It's pretty luxe feeling. I really like it. And it's so affordable, so I just don't think you can beat it. They have a ton of shades. I have since picked up 2 other shades, but this one's still my favorite. The one thing I'll say is don't trust the pictures on Ulta's website. Definitely look up swatches or look in your local Ulta store because they don't look like they do, in my opinion, on the website. But I really love this one. Again, it's called Social Status, and I just don't think you can go wrong. It's so good. The last lip product, unfortunately, is discontinued, but this is the Bite Beauty Lip Crayon in the shade Kava. Oh my gosh, I love this one. This is another purple tone lipstick, but this is more purple tone than the nude I just shared with you guys. I am obsessed with this shade. It is so good. Even though I might have been into warm tones lately, and especially over the year, cool tones is just my jam. I love them. This kind of purpley sort of mauve lip is my favorite. This formula is so nice. It wears so well. It's so creamy, but it's not like a slippery lipstick that's going to end up everywhere. It's not matte, of course, so it's not going to be like dry or anything. It's just very comfortable, has great lasting power, looks so good. I am obsessed with it. I love it so much. Again, I also have 2 other shades of this one, but this one's still my favorite. So those are my 22 favorite makeup products of 2022. I do, however, want to share some honorable mentions because I just want to. So let's start out with my favorite makeup brushes. I feel like I'm always mentioning these, but look how dirty these things are. This is how much I use them. Like, I've washed my brushes semi-recently. These are always the first ones that I reach for. So, so good. These are the Spectrum X KJH brushes, KDJ Hughes. I purchased these with my own money. I purchased them the day that they became available. I set an alarm on my phone to order them. I have never looked back. These are very expensive brushes. I paid over $200 for them, and I do not regret that for a minute. I love these things. I have the full set. Since then, I do have an affiliate code with Spectrum. I did not have that when I ordered these, and I'm not required to say anything about them, but I could not make my favorites video without mentioning these. These are not makeup favorites. They're not a makeup product, but they apply my makeup products to my face, and I feel like I just had to mention them. The packaging has held up so nicely for me. I have had them for summer before last, right? Yeah, so I think I've had them a year and a half. I can't remember when they came out. I've had them for a long time. I think I've had these for a year and a half. I've had them since whenever they first launched, but they're so good no matter how much you wash them. They hold up so nicely. They sometimes have a couple little like stray hairs. Let me see if you can see that one right there, but all of my brushes have that. I don't know. I think that's normal. For how long I've had these and that I use them literally every day, I love them. The only one I don't like is this one. It's the number 22, and it's just kind of like frayed. Whoops. It's just kind of frayed, even though I think it's supposed to be more like, you know, of one sort of point. But, you know, to each their own. That one's just not my favorite, but I love these brushes so much. I will say I have tried some of Spectrum's other collections and they're not as good as this one. This is, for me, top notch for the brand. So I really love these. This would have been my 23rd favorite. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I really do like this one. It helps your makeup last very, very long. The reason that this one didn't make the top 22 is because it's between this and the RCMA No Color Powder. And I just loved that one a little bit more than this one this year. I feel like I could not stop reaching for that one, but I do really like this one and I did want to mention it. It helps your makeup last for so long. I love the smell of it. It smells so good and that is my favorite part about it, but I just wanted to mention this one as well. Just kind of like sneak it in there. This was the next one. Like this was number 23 for me this year. Then I had a couple repeats from last year. I'm not going to talk about them too much because I am going to link that video, but Kaja Gloss Shot, ColourPop Pretty Fresh, specifically the primer, but still the foundation too. And then the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow Duo in Fair Medium. Such a favorite still. Like, look how big these pans are. Oh my gosh. I almost need to repress the bronzer, but because this is so expensive, I'm like scared to mess up the formula with repressing it. I don't know. I'm going to try and use this up this next year, I feel like. I feel like it's time to use it up and probably repurchase it. But I wanted to mention that one too. Lastly, I have two products that are skincare slash makeup. They are sunscreens. I don't know what I've done with the other bottle, but here's one. This is the Hawaiian Tropic Face Sunscreen. This is only SPF 30, but I've been more comfortable using SPF 30 this year on my face. Personal preference again, but I've felt okay with it. I have loved this one. I used it up. It isn't empty. So I do plan to repurchase it once I use up some of my other sunscreens, but this was such a favorite of mine. I loved the way that it was just super moisturizing. It didn't have a white cast that I ever noticed, but I didn't test a lot in flash photography. If I'm gonna have flash photography, I honestly typically skip sunscreen that day. I know it's not very good, but it's probably only like 3 days a year for me that I'm skipping it for pictures. So that's just like a personal preference, but I've never noticed it. I've never noticed a white cast. I love the smell of this. It's kind of like that typical like nice sunscreen, not like overly sunscreeny, I guess, but it has that coconut scent. So, you know, be aware of that if you don't like that kind of a scent. I personally do really like that. So I love this one. The other sunscreen favorite that I have, I kind of hated on it first, but then I fell in love with it as I used it up. I can't find it anywhere, even though I think I still have the bottle. I don't know. It is the Kopari Face Shield though. I think that one is also SPF 30. I did say that it smells like cardboard. I stand by that, but for some reason, I really grew to like the scent as I was using up the rest of the bottle. I did completely use it up. I love that formula and I honestly really miss it. I think I will repurchase it next year, but it was just very moisturizing. Again, no white cast, just a clear kind of a product. Had like a pearlescent type finish to it, but not as glowy as the Supergoop Glow Screen. Just such a nice glow. Looked like just a very great moisturizer. So that one, such a favorite. I honestly think that's going to be the next one that I purchase over the Hawaiian Tropic, even though like I want both of them back. I really liked them. But those are all the favorites I have to share with you guys. My voice is pretty much shot, so I honestly really need to end this video. I know this was a longer one, but I really wanted to share with you guys all of my favorite products from 2022. I also just have to say that having this channel has been such a favorite of mine this year, and that is all thanks to you guys. So thank you so much for always supporting my channel and for watching this video. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.